Sunday Painter.
I want to introduce you to an artist you may have not heard of. Cecilia Beaux. In this short video, we will take a quick look at an art just to pique your curiosity to learn about a new art and a new way of seeing. If you are a painter or you love art history, this is the channel for you. For more art information like this, subscribe to the Sunday Painter and hit the little bell so you know when I post a new art-related video. Also, you can leave a name of an artist you would like to know more about in the comments. So, who is Cecilia Beaux and how learning about their art may change how you do yours? Here is a woman who began as a commercial artist, making exacting sketches of fossils for a United States Geological Survey project and painting portraits on porcelain. In her paintings, for me they seem a little sketchy. Beaux has been compared to Sargent, and I can see this in her work. I have never seen one of her portraits in person, so I can't say much. I think that the reproductions you find on the internet is not very good, so that is why I come to these conclusions. I wish there were better examples of her work. This does not stop me from loving her paintings. So, who is Cecilia Beaux? Born Philadelphia, 1855. She was the youngest daughter of French silk manufacturer Jean-Adolphe Beaux and teacher Cecilia Kent-Levitt. Her mother was the daughter of prominent businessman John Wheeler Levitt of New York City and his wife Cecilia Kent of Suffield, Connecticut. Her mother died from puerperal fever 12 days after giving birth at age 33. Cecilia Lily Beaux and her sister Etta were subsequently raised by their maternal grandmother and aunts, primarily in Philadelphia. Her father, unable to bear the grief of his loss, and feeling adrift in a foreign country, returned to his native France for 16 years, with only one visit back to Philadelphia. Her childhood was a sheltered though generally happy one. As a teen she already manifested the traits, as she described, of both a realist and a perfectionist, pursued by an uncompromising passion for carrying through. Trained in Philadelphia, she went on to study in Paris, strongly influenced by two classical painters Tony Robert Fleury and William Adolphe Bouguereau, who avoided avant-garde movements. In turn, she resisted Impressionism and Cubism, remaining a strongly individual figurative artist. Her style, however, invited comparisons with John Singer Sargent. At one exhibition, Bernard Berenson joked that her paintings were the best Sargents in the room. She could flatter her subjects without artifice, and showed great insight into character. Like her instructor William Sartain, she believed there was a connection between physical characteristics and behavioral traits. Like many ambitious 19th-century artists, she honed her skills in Paris. Her diaries reveal that she struggled under the pressure of the Académie Julian, but Beaux never lost her ambition and determination. She wrote in a letter, "You know how I hate to fail. My grip is pretty hard as a rule." Critics were soon describing her work as virile and strong, comparing her canvases to those of John Singer Sargent. Though Beaux was an individualist, comparisons to Sargent would prove inevitable, and often favorable. Her strong technique, her perceptive reading of her subjects, and her ability to flatter without falsifying, were traits similar to his. In her article entitled Under the Skin, Reconsidering Cecilia Beaux and John Singer Sargent, scholar Sarah Burns reflected, Beaux came to maturity at a time when women were entering the art world in unprecedented numbers, for the first time constituting a visible threat to the male-dominated establishment. Because of this accomplishment, one might imagine today's feminists viewing Beaux as a fierce symbol of rebellion against 19th-century patriarchy. Beaux was not a rebel, and did not embrace feminist values, and that may be why she remains under-recognized today. Beaux regarded her artistic gifts as unique for a 19th-century woman. However, Beaux's professional achievements parallel those of other women artists of the time, namely, she rose to success independently, with a self-cultivated stubbornness. I can say I have a passionate determination to overcome every obstacle. Though overshadowed by Mary Cassatt and relatively unknown to museum goers today, Beaux's craftsmanship and extraordinary output were highly regarded in her time. She was celebrated in Philadelphia and New York for her portraits of the East Coast elite, and her talents were recognized by the leading critics and institutions of her day. She was the first woman to secure a faculty position at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, and she received honorary degrees from the University of Pennsylvania and Yale. Cecilia Beaux was an artist who undoubtedly showed immense talent and skill in her work. She was also a woman, one whose career started in the late 19th century, at a time when women were not even allowed to vote. Beaux' career was often defined by this label over which she had no control, and it impacted her career in varying ways, all as she frequently tried to remove herself from its power. She won many accolades in the US and Europe, including medals at the Paris Exposition Universelle of 1900. Beaux received 2 honorary college degrees, and Eleanor Roosevelt named her the American woman who had made the greatest contribution to the culture of the world in 1933. All of her works are soft and elegant, usually with a touch of drama. She combined the loose brushwork popular with impressionists and the detail expected of a society portraitist. Beaux knew that she could either be a professional artist or she could be a woman artist. There was little room for both titles to coexist. Her early feminine commercial work gave her a good sense of business and of art, both of which she used to develop herself as a skilled and successful portraitist. Beaux' desire to be seen for her work and not for her gender caused herself to become isolated. She began to believe that she indeed was special, and that she was not like other women. Beaux' admirers compared her to other female American painters and positioned her as far above all the rest. She was applauded for conforming to male forms of art even though it was her practice in female avenues that had helped lead her to becoming who she was. She was a master of her craft, regardless of gender, but ultimately neither she nor the world could shake her categorization. Though she sought to be recognized purely for her work, the fact that she was a woman always managed to become a factor as to how she was judged, even by herself. She was seen as special, and special she indeed was, but not because she was a good woman painter. She was special because she was a phenomenal painter, one who rivaled any great painter of her time regardless of gender. Beaux' identity cannot be ignored. Beaux was a writer as well as an artist. In 1930, she published Background with Figures, an autobiography tracing her family history and the characters she had met through her career as an artist. While she made a very comfortable living all by herself, she turned down a few marriage proposals. By 1900 the interest for Beaux' work brought customers from Washington, D.C., to Boston, prompting the artist to move to New York City. It was there she spent the winters while summering in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Cecilia Beaux was disabled in the wake of breaking her hip while strolling in Paris in 1924. With her well-being impeded, her work yield dwindled for the rest of her life. With all things there is an end. Cecilia Beaux died at the age of 87 on September 17, 1942, in Gloucester, Massachusetts. She was buried at West Laurel Hill Cemetery in Ballacunwood, Pennsylvania. Here's a quote by Beaux. "Never was a word more absurd than technique. To many technique means the purely mechanical, material side of a work, something generally found to be hard, shiny, even vulgar. Just now, to be clumsy is to be admired. Indeed, bungling is much in fashion now, in painting. And if one does not bungle naturally, one may easily learn how to do it from the initiated. But the true definition of technique is very simple. A perfect technique in anything only means that there has been no break in continuity between conception, or thought, and the act of performance." Hope you enjoyed this short documentary. There is always more to Cecilia Beaux, and I hope this sparks your curiosity. For more art video and related art subjects, subscribe to my channel. Also don't forget to look outstanding and get your quality custom distressed artist tees. The link is in the description below. Don't miss out. You may find something you like or a gift for someone, nowhere else in the world. Be unique. Please leave a positive comment. Have a great day and thanks for watching.